All right, we are at the November 20th, 2025 Village Council regular meeting, and we are at 7:12 now. 7:12 p.m. And we will start with roll call. Councilperson Pinter.
Here.
Councilperson Grant.
Present.
Council President Cameron.
Here.
Councilperson Martin.
Here.
Councilperson Passion.
Here.
And Councilperson Cost is excused. Do we have a motion to approve her excused absence?
So moved.
Second.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you were
You did it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And next we have pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and next we will move to Pete DeSalvo. We did actually I'm gonna turn it over to you. Talk about what we did, what he's here for, and what we're about to see.
Okay. So, as hopefully most everyone here and listening knows, the village chose to implement a survey. The last survey, resident survey, was done back in 2018. There's been a few changes in the village since 2018. So we wanted to get an updated, just community input from everyone. And we worked with a gentleman, Pete DeSalvo, who actually was involved in the 2018 survey as well. So we're thrilled to have his experience with us. And Pete is with us tonight to present the results. And I'm totally excited. Thank you, Pete, for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me present tonight, Mayor and Council. This is the first time I've been in this building. The last time I met was in the old one, so quite an upgrade. So I'm the president of DeSalvo Development Advisors. We're essentially serving as a third party for this survey that nobody's results get out to anybody in the community, including council, but we're here to share the results. The PowerPoint's pretty big. I took it down to 50 slides from about 100, but we're going to get through pretty quickly. We have comparisons throughout of 2018. There were a ton of, we went through everything. There were a ton of comments in there. There are individual comments that we're not showing tonight that were separate from everything, and even some comments that represented 1, maybe 2% of all the respondents are not going to be in on this summary, and this is 50 slides.
Pete, do you want to say hold questions till the end?
Yeah.
How do you want to do that?
I'm thinking maybe as we get through sections,
Okay, yeah.
I pause for a minute,
Okay.
and if there's because if you go through 50 and try to go back, that would be challenging.
Okay. They could take notes, but I think at the end of the section is fine too.
Okay, well, we'll see. We could play it by ear.
Okay.
Okay. So, we actually surveyed the same exact number of residents as we did in the 2018 survey. Surprise, surprise. And it's a valid 6% margin of error as before. We have confidence in it. Demographics are pretty good. We're a little bit overrepresented in the older adult category, but overall pretty good. So we're happy with that. So, as a place to live, how would you rate Minerva Park? If you look on the right, you're going to see that blue box on the right is going to be that 2018 throughout all of these slides so you can compare. In some cases, you're going to have to do some math on the spot. But we have a much higher share of exceptional this time and lower disappointing. So what was the primary reason you chose it? This is another theme, the theme that you're going to see through there is the park environment and nature has really moved up in how residents perceive Minerva Park, which has always been beautiful to me, but that's, if you look at the 2018, still nice qualities, but not, the park environment was number 8 back in 2018, where it's number 1 today. You'll have a copy of all this because it's a lot to look at, I know. We didn't ask this obviously before. do you live in the legacy or the new section? The folks that weren't sure, they lived in the legacy section. We asked them to provide the street name and we found that out for them. So, 3/4 legacy, a quarter new. What did you like most about it? We're going back to nature again for this survey. Friendly people is still up high, but not number one. And police presence is still high on that one. You can see the number 6, the mature trees, was the closest nature one to the 2018 survey. 12% of people said they would move in the next 2 years. That's actually lower than before, but with, I mean, click anything.
Oops, sorry.
It's okay. With interest rates the way they've been, people aren't moving as much right now, so that may be part of that.
If you don't hit skip, that's
Yeah,
start.
you have to do it, so somebody has
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Whose computer is on?
You can just
No,
do it.
no, laptop.
Yeah.
Laptop down there.
Yeah.
On the laptop.
Yeah, just toggle over it,
Yeah.
skip, and you go.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
You're good, you're good. Okay, me just go back. So, when we asked what was the primary reason, now there's a few of these slides that have the circle on the top left. That's like a very small number of people answered. That only happened a few times, but this is for the people that said they were moving. So the majority said for bigger yard, more space, and before that, it was all about income taxes. I remember that very well. Needing less maintenance is another big one. To what area? There wasn't really any, it was a little all over the map, so we didn't have back in 2018, people just didn't know. The leading ones are other areas of Ohio. This is a rating you're going to see throughout different topics, so mentally keep them in mind. How would you rate the current maintenance from 1 to 10? So think 5, actually mathematically 5.5 is average, but anything from 5 and up is above average, with 10 being excellent. So you're 7.5 and 5, which is pretty strong. And then when we look specifically at sewer, refuse, removal services, I totaled the good and excellent from our survey so we could compare with 2018. So the numbers on those bars. So today we're almost 100% on trash collection. We're higher on trash collection, on snow removal. We're higher. Leaf collection, we're about the same with how people rate that. And we're substantially higher on the sanitary sewers and storm sewers. There are several slides in here where at the end of the survey we asked for additional input, and we're intermixing those where it makes sense in this slide deck. So leaf and trash, some people were looking for better communication on when were the collection days. Can we start sooner? A few unhappy people, some others wanting repair. Snow removal, got a lot of kudos for that, which makes sense with the rating that we saw. How would you rate ongoing maintenance of the other infrastructure and facilities? We had, in 2018, we had the community building and pool kind of combined, so it's not a great comparison. But if you look at roads, 62.4 were considered, the only choices we had in 2018 were good, poor, and no opinion. So 62.4 were good. Now we have 69.8 and 14.7. So we're well above that on the roads. Again, we can't really match up the municipality and pool numbers very well, but you can see just from the survey, people are pretty happy with the municipal building, less so on the pool, and exterior common area, 55%, say it's good, another 29%, excellent. So we're exceeding the 2018 survey as well. Some things that stood out when people were talking about the park area, in terms of additions, pedestrian paths, some sidewalks, but more of the walking paths, more planting trees and native plants. Playgrounds, a couple noting natural setting. That's usually we're not getting as low as 2 responses in this, but improve the appearance. So yes, some better maintenance, but the removing of invasive plants and weeds, and then always have, there's some complaints there, a couple with the basketball court and a couple with just upkeeping the paths and sidewalks instead of adding new ones. And then repairing bridges on some of the walking paths. But if you think, 223, was that the 235 respondents, these aren't enormous shares of people saying this. When you talk about the lake, people there is clean it up a little bit better maintenance with that. Some people saying they dredge the lake. Certainly some complaints relating to that, the smell, lack of action communication, which we're going to talk about later. Some tree removal, which apparently occurred that they didn't like. And then several people, 5, wanted to stock the lake with fish. On the roadways, improving, again, we're going back to add sidewalks and walkways, repair the roadways. People are just getting frustrated with construction, which is understandable. And some street parking as well. So how important is the pool to your family? You can see we put it in order of the top responses, but we are signing up for the pool. The pool is not a factor in deciding our move. Not interested, but value. And then if you look at the other, they're just valuable is used again and again. That's the problem with having other sometimes, that we maybe didn't have the greatest choices put in the pick from. A half dozen say it was too expensive. How often do you or a member use the pool? The highest amount was in the 1 to 2 days, and the 2018 average was 2 days as well, so we didn't see any real change there. Would you support a fee to keep the pool reserved only for residents and their guests? It's a lower percentage, markedly lower, 10% percentage points lower than it was in 2018, so less people say, yes, we want a fee just for residents and their guests. And then when 64 people who responded with the fee, that said there should be a fee, you can see some similarities in the spikes. The 2018 survey was $50 and $100 had the highest ones. There's a little bit more of the $25. I think we're all feeling the economic problems here, so maybe that's why more 25, but still 50 and 100 as well. On the pool, there were a fair number of people wanting major upgrades and additions. Even, there's a reference of Highlands Park Aquatic Center. Can it be more like that? The restrooms were the bigger issue, and there's still some people saying you need to renovate the restrooms. That was a big issue in 2018. And then a few saying close the pool or improve pool management. People have, in terms of being satisfied with the police, we're at a higher rate overall. Went from the somewhat satisfied and very satisfied, we're at a higher rate, and the dissatisfied has halved since the 2018. And shifted a little bit from there's still, I agree strongly and somewhat about police doing a good job of keeping the community safe. There was a little bit more of the somewhat than last time, but overall, high percentages there. Minerva Park Police, how are they treating their residents courteously, with dignity and respect? That's a big improvement. Agree strongly from 46% in 2018 to 64% today. Agree somewhat, the other ones are pretty similar, except the degree somewhat is much lower, and disagree strongly is barely there. Police well-trained, competent professionals. Again, we have a good, where the agree strongly is a higher number, and disagree, we're below that. So overall, they're positive ratings for the police. Have you had a call in the last 2 years? A lot of people have. And then in terms of rating, I think this is the highest rating we have, but 8.37 for the police department overall. I'm going, there's a couple more slides and we'll stop. Some of the questions in the 2018 didn't match up exactly with this survey, so I did not include some comparisons because it wasn't right. But if you look, 55% of people are satisfied with the number of officers, and most, a good third of the people just don't know. How do you know that? That's hard to answer. Do you want more or less police officers patrolling the village? These are questions that don't match up specifically, but we have sufficient in 2018, but the number seems right at 42%. So there is a little bit more of, we need a little bit more patrolling in the village. And we're still at the same rate of 8 of 10 people saying, yes, we need our own police department. A few other items, can we get more enforcement? That goes hand in hand with a little bit more patrolling, speeding cars, parked cars. It's all the bike patrols and just some general compliments. So I'm going to stop there for a second. I should have stopped before. Does anybody have any questions as it relates to the police?
Is that that they want the police officers to give more compliments to the residents?
Nah, it's just their input. Yeah. Wouldn't hurt, right? Well, there's the community interaction with a couple of those. Yeah. Okay, the code enforcement. I grouped these together so we can compare them a little bit. This is a little bit of, code enforcement is difficult to survey because a lot of people just don't know. But if you look at today's rating, very satisfied, somewhat satisfied to very satisfied, 41.6 compared to 35% good in 2018. So we do have improvements there. However, the poor didn't really change, and people are more opinionated now than they were before. Before, 40% was like, I don't know, code enforcement, what's that? But today there's more answers. 15% had contact code enforcement, and the 31 people gave it a 6.55, so above average. Some of the comments was, can we get more enforcement? Unkept yards, cars on sidewalks, and some people are just not happy with code enforcement that's not equally applied. This is a busy slide. It's comparing where was your primary shopping, dining, recreation. Kroger's still the top grocery store, surprise, surprise, but the number actually, it flipped from Schrock in 2018 barely to Sunbury. So I don't know what the differences in that one are, but Aldi is the next, and then it goes down from there. Top shopping areas, look at the number next to Easton. 114 for both of them. We gave a first and second choice, so it gets bigger. Polaris was a little bit less, but they had a bigger second choice. The parks, you have some great parks nearby, and those are still remain very popular. And in terms of the restaurants, Fiesta,
Jalisco.
boy, my Spanish failed me on that one. Jalisco is still up there, almost the same number. But yeah, Chipotle and Texas Roadhouse. So how often do residents visit shops within this little bubble half-mile area? More than a third say rarely. Very few daily, and about a quarter weekly.
I think the big issue there is that there isn't many shops in that bubble. So, we don't have a lot of commercial.
We have an amazing number of shops. They just,
You're getting to a slide that we're going to
Yeah.
later. There's the quantity, is it the choices that you
Yes,
want, or that you
exactly.
need, that's the question.
yeah.
So one of the things we asked was, and we asked this in the first one, were there things out there that were detrimental to the image of Minerva Park? And the majority, 2/3 of people said it's the tenant types within that area. So it kind of goes with, I don't have a place to go, well, that's kind of fits with that. And then after that, it's the retail centers, just strip malls, that type of thing. Some general things about Cleveland Avenue corridor and vacant space, which was higher in the last survey, and panhandlers weren't noted as an issue. So, did you feel the current offer is sufficient? I guess we're hitting this one over the head. No, half the people say no. And then what would you like to see? Guess what, grocery store is still at the top. We've kind of been circled by grocery stores, but grocery store is still the top. In terms of the first choice, coffee shop actually overtook restaurants with this survey. And then the second choice, we hit the restaurants, grocery store, coffee shop again, with a few other convenience and ice cream. Okay, the overall effectiveness of the village government in addressing community needs, 6.29, still above average. We didn't have stars on the previous survey. We didn't have Kathy there to help us with the survey. What's your impression of the financial health? This is a good one because it matches up with the 2018 survey question. So, adequate funds available, 8 percentage points higher than 2018. That's what people think. Limited funds is relatively the same. So is the comment about, hey, it's in good shape to take care of routine maintenance, but there's some worry about taking on bigger projects. That's still, over a quarter. But everything else, it's relatively close. There's more people that say they have info in this one than the 2018, which is accounting for the adequate funds available. But what's funny is communication is one of the things later that people want improved. So, how informed are you? This goes to that communication side of that. We're about average at 5.8, a little bit above. I broke this slide into two because initially it had daily, weekly, monthly. It was too much. So if we just look at this chart and say, okay, green is weekly. So how often do you receive news from these places? So on a weekly standpoint, Facebook, Neighbors, both Facebooks and Neighbors are the top ways on a weekly basis that people understand that, and then it goes down from there to the village website, meetings, and newsletter. And if we look at monthly, well, you see the big spike at the end. The village newsletter is 77.8%. That's how, on a monthly basis, where we get it from. When we look at daily, we're back at the Facebook page, both Facebook's pages, and it goes down from there. And then the folks that say they rarely get information that's from the village website and council meetings. People just not going to council meetings. And since the village newsletter is a monthly newsletter, is that correct? It's no surprise that you're not seeing a high number on that. So how do they want the information? Well, it's changed. Everybody's got a smartphone now, so they say text me. 77%, followed by email. Before it was email, then text. And then in 2018, people were still on the post office, but that's changed. They just put it on the website. A couple others were, hey, put it on Facebook and just a general social media category. I included this slide because it shows what people wanted to, what suggestions and input they wanted to offer the most by category. So if you look at it, that park area is number one. Lake, they hand in hand. Pool, which we talked about, police, code enforcement, surrounding area. So you can see where some of the most interest is at. And then if you were to create one or more special interest groups, you better create a lot of them because they're all around the same. Still, the preservation and conservation is still the highest, as it was before, and safety. Before we had facilities needs in here, which you've already addressed, so that's not an issue anymore. And then as many people say none as they do safety in the community. But so people that wanted to participate, and 40% of the people said they want to participate in these special interest groups, and we have some 30 people actually gave us email and phone number, which we'll provide with that specific group. And that's the end. Does anybody have any questions? I can flip back. So I appreciate it. Well, Kathy, if you have any questions for us later, let us know.
I think from here, first of all, thank you very much, and we appreciate it. And I'm thrilled to say that Pete, despite having now been through this a second time, has agreed to continue to be our survey person. And I have asked him to, or company, and I've asked him to put together an estimate for probably in the future, like single topic surveys, maybe on an annual basis, and possibly the implementation. Did we talk about the implementation of maybe an exit survey? Did we? What was the other one? We talked about two that you might manage for us.
The employee satisfaction.
Employee satisfaction, yes, thank you. That's the better word for it. It's not when people leave, it's more like periodically. The government, the administration might like to know how are all of the employees of the village feeling about the administration of the village. So that is it, yeah, employee satisfaction. And we can just talk about what we want to do next year, what we feel is the most important thing to probe a little deeper, and and then of course also where the budget winds up and that sort of thing. But thank you. This is something that obviously cannot be looked at once and absorbed. And so what I anticipate is, as council members, whatever is the topic of our sessions, we may just have that part of the survey with us so that we're able to say, okay, here's the input from the 235 who answered, let's consider that as we're talking through whatever the subject is. That's how I see using this moving forward. If you have any other suggestions for using it moving forward, now or via email.
The only thing I would say is you still have an active subscription to SurveyMonkey, so you won't have to redo that until the year's up. So you could, if you have to do, even if you want to do like one question or just a few questions, you put that together pretty quickly. So that just want to let you know that that's out there. So you don't have to pay for the subscription every time.
Yeah.
You do it.
Yeah.
But thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love that text is the #1 thing, and we just can't get people on our text thing. So, except I guess maybe all of those people were on our text thing, because it's about how many people we have.
Well, and there's one where it's like something like 100 people said they wanted to be part of a special interest group,
Right.
but only 30 people gave their contact information, which I just found hilarious. And And I'm sure it's just when we announce,
Exactly.
that one would be formed, we'd say something.
Yeah. So, okay, well, if you wanna be on our text blast, we have,
Yeah,
just
please.
reach out to us
I
because,
mean, I know we'll discuss it at a future work session, but, I think it says, hey, let's look at what's out there, and maybe we need a different, system for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, there's gotta be a better way.
Right.
So, okay, all right, I assume that when that gets sent, does council have a copy of all of those results yet, what we just watched?
No, it's
Is he gonna
posted
send
on the
us?
website in the morning
Okay,
with the audio and video.
beautiful, okay,
And if you would like me to email you a copy, happy to do that.
Yeah, I think that was great.
all right. Next, we will move to meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the November 13th, 2025 committee as a whole minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions? Do we have a motion to approve the November 13th, 2025 council meeting minutes?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions? Do we have a motion to approve the November 17th, 2025 pool house work session minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
We have to abstain when we're there.
Sure.
Yeah, abstain.
Done. All right, committee as a whole report, we will start with streets. Stacy is, I should say, councilperson Cost, is not here. We did talk about Minerva Lake Road project a little bit. It is winding down and coming to an end. We will continue to update to the best of our ability. Hopefully we will get some updates tomorrow, whether or not they are in fact paving tomorrow or Friday. And we will keep posting as we get the information. And that's all I have for streets. Next, we will move to Councilperson Martin for services.
So we did originally have it planned for leaf pickup on Saturday, but due to weather, Strouser might be paving Friday, which is tomorrow, or maybe Monday. So we have to double check with that, because the roads might be closed, so they might not, or won't be able to come in on Saturday if the road's closed. So unfortunately, you have to stay tuned, because we don't even know quite yet until tomorrow.
But you're just talking about Minerva Lake Road.
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
construction
The
area.
rest of the road
The
is
rest of the village
service.
is, yeah, normal, sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, next we have, is that it? For services?
Any food truck this?
Oh, yes,
Sure.
yes, we have. La Via Italian Food Truck Pizza from 4 to 7, thank you.
All right, Council President Camera for Recreation and Parks.
Yeah, so, just kind of talked a little bit tonight about, adding, we're reading the third reading of our pool, fees and all that type of stuff, but just adding something in there tonight about, proven residency, to help with, some people that are taking advantage of the system a little bit. And then, we did have our work session with, the architectural firm, to kind of go over some concepts, and we have another one scheduled, for the 17th, is that December
Yes.
17th? It's a Wednesday, I know that. Which will be the next one, and at some point coming up after that, we will be opening up to residents. I think we have a resident, rally type of thing planned, at some point, so. And I think that's, I think that was it for recreations and parks, so, for tonight at least.
All right, next we have citizen comments. We have nobody on the list? No, okay. Next we'll move to legislation.
All right, legislation is long, so help me out. Ordinance 2025-19 is the annual compensation for 2026. It's an ordinance updating the wage and salary ranges, the number of employees and positions for the village of Minerva Park.
I would like a motion to table that.
Can we amend that to a motion to postpone
Do you want me to do roll call with that, or just do all in favor?
Do a call.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilperson Pinto.
Aye.
Councilperson Gray.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Council President Cameron. Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Motion to postpone passes.
There you go.
All right, next is ordinance 2025-20, is healthcare for 2026. This is an ordinance establishing healthcare benefits for employees and the mayor, and authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter into contracts for major medical and other insurances for village employees. This is the third reading.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All right, any comments, questions, anything on that? All right,
Dental was separate, right? Dental separate for this?
Dental is part of this overall.
Okay, it's part of this one here, this 2025-20, or is it separate?
It's in there.
It's a separate one, right?
That was part of this ordinance, yes.
Yeah, it's in
Okay.
there. It's
Did you, what were you working out some final, numbers in there? Did we get all that in here?
Yes, Anthem is cheaper than our current plan, and we will increase the annual amount that will be covered under the policy from $1,500 to $2,000. Outside of that, coverages are identical.
Okay.
I just got a hold of a bunch of literature today from our rep, so I haven't had a chance to really read through it all.
Okay.
Okay.
all right. Council President Cameron. Councilperson Pinto.
Aye.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin. Councilperson Gray.
Aye. All right. So 2025-20, healthcare 2026 passes. Next is ordinance 2025-22, annual appropriations. This is an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenditures of the Village of Minerva Park for the year 2026. This is a second reading. Next is resolution 2025-25, and for annual contracts. This is a resolution authorizing the mayor and the fiscal officer to enter into various recurring contracts necessary for the continuous operation of the village. This is the third reading. So we have any discussion or comments?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Now discussion.
Anybody? All right. Councilperson Gray.
Aye.
Councilperson Pinto.
Aye.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
And Council President Cameron.
All right, the motion passes. Next is resolution 2025-26, rules of council. This is a resolution adopting the rules of council for the council of the Village of Minerva Park for 2026. This is a third reading.
Motion to approve?
Second. Any discussion?
Councilperson Pinto.
Aye.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Gray.
Aye. 2025-26 passes. Next up is resolution 2025-27, pool fees. This is a resolution establishing fees for membership for the Minerva Park Pool for the 2026 summer season. Do we need to, I think we had some prior discussion, do we need to amend that before we carry
So
on?
you move to approve, and then you second, and move to amend.
With the language, correct? Or
We can amend it.
after that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
All right, so,
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to amend.
Yes.
Okay, I make a
So we're
motion to
gonna-
amend it. Do you wanna read the amendment?
yeah, we're gonna amend section 2, to also read residency to be proven with provision of ID
After April 30th.
after April 30th.
And then also, on the bottom of the exhibit, which is the table of fees, we'll just add another asterisk that says residency to be proven with provision of ID. Just so it's clear everywhere.
Okay, at the bottom of that. row.
Yep. So we have moved to amend that, now we need a second for that.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, so the seconds.
Yeah.
Second.
Yes,
Now we roll call that.
You're good.
We're doing the
All right.
amendment right now.
Okay. Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Grant.
Aye.
Councilperson Pinter.
Aye.
Okay.
So the motion to amend has approved.
Correct. Now you vote as amended.
Motion to vote as amended.
I think we're already in a motion.
We are.
You already have, yeah, you already have it, so that, the next vote is yours, yeah.
All right, so 2025, 27. I feel your pain, Tommy. Okay.
So much motion.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm just gonna do roll call. Is that where we're at?
Yep.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Grant.
Aye.
Councilperson Pinter.
Aye.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Resolution 2025-27 passes. Next is resolution 2025-29, which is for property tax advances for 2026. This is a resolution requesting the county treasurer to provide advance payments of taxes and other sources payable to the village as they become available during 2026. This is a second reading.
Sorry, I know we don't normally do discussions on second reading, but we don't have to pass this as an emergency for it to go into effect.
No. The earliest advances won't be until mid to late January.
So we're fine with the 30 days from, perfect. That's what I figured, I just thought about it.
The next is resolution 2025-31. This is a resolution authorizing the fiscal officer of the Village of Minerva Park to request certification and estimate of revenue from the Franklin County Auditor's Office for a 3.2 mil 5-year renewal tax levy and to declare an emergency. This is the second reading. Next is 2025-32, resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a grant agreement with the Central Ohio Transit Authority for the Link West Transit Supporting Infrastructure Program and declaring an emergency.
What's the reason they're declaring that an emergency? Do we need to?
Is it a contract date, Jeff?
Yeah, I think it was executed before the end of the year
Okay.
on the Lincoln one, while we were doing an emergency.
Yes.
Grant prior to the end of 20.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Grant begins January first.
yeah, so we wanna have that, yep, have the most fun.
Makes perfect sense, thank you.
Okay. Oh. Alright, making sure, double checking before I start reading. Alright, next one is resolution 2025-33. This is a resolution affirming the reappointment of Clifford Bigler as a full-time police officer for the village of Minerva Park, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. This is the first reading, and with the intent to waive readings. Does it need to, sometimes?
Yeah, we have to do a roll call, we need all five, it needs to be unanimous to pass the waiver readings.
Alright.
So for the emergency, do we have a,
And I'll make the motion.
Not the emergency, to waive readings.
or to wait, reading, just a minute.
So I'll make the motion to suspend the rules that require 3 readings.
Second.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Grant.
Aye.
Councilperson Pinter.
Aye.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Alright,
And, I'll make the motion to approve, I guess.
Second. discuss now? We can discuss.
Yes, we can discuss.
I guess it should be clear within the meeting, right, kind of what's happening here. I think we've discussed it, but just to make it clear, right? Officer Bigler, right, is opted for retirement with the fire and hose, or whoever, the police, right? And then he's being reappointed as a, basically what they, is that a technical term, where it's a retire, rehire?
Yes, that would be, yes.
So that's kind of what's happening there, and I don't know if anybody wants to add to that. So, yeah.
Hey,
Yes, yes, Chief.
do we need any language in here about a probationary period not being, because I thought we were gonna waive any probationary period.
I mean, I would assume we would, or we would waive that for him. Yeah, we can add it,
But he didn't retire from.
that's right, he didn't, yeah, that's right, he didn't retire from the
Retire
River Park,
the
that's right,
department. He
that's right.
retired
You
from-
still haven't, he hasn't really quit here.
that's right, so we're good with that, that's a fair point, though, yep, but we're good,
Yeah.
yeah, yep.
Just making sure we're all good with that.
Yeah.
We're on record.
All right,
I think we're good with that.
or to the vote, okay. Councilperson Pinter.
Aye.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Grant.
Aye. All right. Next is Resolution 2025-34. This is a resolution affirming the termination of Amber Blackburn as a full-time police officer for the village of Minerva Park, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
With the first reading,
This is-
and
yeah.
suspend.
This is the first reading with the,
Suspend the rules.
to suspend the rules for 3 readings. They require 3 readings.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Grant.
Aye.
And Councilperson Pinter.
Aye.
Next is the motion to pass, or I guess I'll make a motion to pass Resolution 2025-34.
Second.
Any discussions?
I want to ask questions here. I do know that Mayor did send a memo today, right? Regarding, everything that's going on. I don't know if it's appropriate at this point to ask, Chief if he wanted to opine on this. I would not have had your thoughts on this, so I'd like to hear it if that's okay.
I found out today, so I have no comments.
Thank you. I have nothing else.
Okay. Anybody else? Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Grant.
Aye.
Councilperson Pinter.
Aye.
And Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Next is Resolution 2025-35. It's a resolution authorizing the mayor and the fiscal officer to enter into a contract for design, bid documents, and construction oversight for the pool renovation improvement project and declaring an emergency. This is the first reading. Next is Resolution 2025-36. This is a resolution establishing village council oversight requirements for police department hiring and personnel decisions in the village of Minerva Park. This is a first reading. And that concludes legislation.
Do you have any old business, pool, maintenance building, road project, survey that's been completed, anything else?
It looks like they're moving along with the maintenance building.
Yes.
Even after we discussed it the last time, I go by again and that whole road's been cut in.
Yes.
So I was actually, I was expecting that road to be a little more, to to the east, so I was a little surprised.
Do you like it?
Because, no, I'm fine with it. It looks nice and wide as well. No, I think at one point there was discussion about removing some of those plants and stuff there. And there was a concern about that on that curve,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look like we need to do any of that based on where it is now. It doesn't look like there's any issue with it. I think the resident to the west was a little concerned about how close it was. It does, I haven't heard anything from that resident, but it appears to be far enough away. So,
I think it's fine.
yeah, I do too. Has anyone else gone over there and looked at anything? I mean,
Brian on the daily. He's waiting
On
for
the
his house to
daily.
be complete.
Foot is dug, and I think they filled it today.
they poured concrete?
I believe so.
I know they thought they were doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Again, Minerva Ground is moving forward and hopefully, in the next couple days, we will be 99% done.
Yeah, okay. And then, any update, where are we at with, Valley Road project? Like, we.
Still in the engineering phase.
Okay, alright.
Uh, The intent is for it to be bid during the summer with construction in the fall.
Right.
It will, run parallel with the construction on the bathhouse.
And then, do we have, I know we're trying to stay ahead of road projects. Do we have a future road project that we are looking at? I know we're looking at our
Yes.
finances, but,
For next year, the water line is going to be replaced
Oh, that's
on
right.
Lord Lake
Right.
Court.
right,
That also comes into play with a little bit of Kerwood and down part of East Shore.
mhm,
How far down East Shore they need to go remains to be determined yet. But once the water line is put in, then part of East Shore will be repaved. They're going to dig a big trench down through there,
right,
so
right,
it'll get fixed. The court itself will also be milled and filled, and the plan right now is to eliminate the little,
right. Called, yeah.
whatever you call it
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. The,
Yes.
island in the
The
road, yeah.
I believe another phase of Minerva Lake Road is set to engineering to start in 27.
Okay, engineering will start in twenty
I'd
twenty.
say that is the case, yes.
Okay, okay. I know we're trying to stay ahead of road projects by getting engineering,
Yes.
prior to it, so,
I'd have to look at the list of projects again one more time to make certain that
right,
engineering didn't start 26,
okay,
27 construction.
right,
Plus, we also need to apply for OPWC
yes,
assistance again.
right,
And fall of next year, you have Valley Road.
right,
And also, besides the East Shore North.
right, right. And do we still have plans next year to do the road assessment again? Is that
Yes,
in the budget for next year?
yes.
Okay, so we'll do our normal assessment of condition of all the streets and,
Yes, and
where we,
I believe that past assessment is either 4 or 5 years old.
right,
So-
yeah, at least, yeah.
2018 is when we did it, 19, 20, 20. We need to check that. I don't think the road assessment is that old.
I mean.
We did it in, we need to double check and see how old it is. I feel like it might only be like 3 years old right now. Am I crazy? No, those are two different questions.
I wasn't here when that was done.
2021.
I wasn't here when that was done before,
The
and I.
first one, but we just
Blocked
did,
out.
yeah, we just did one. Do you know?
2021 we blocked out. So it just seems like it's only 3 years.
It might, I'm not, it could be 8 at this point. Yeah, we'll just double check, because I don't wanna do it yet if we're not 5 years, like,
It's-
that was the plan,
I
but
think
it might be.
it has been, because when we had our work session,
Okay,
it
we gotta talk
was,
about it.
it was older, at that point, so.
Alright,
Yeah.
I'm wrong, I admit it, it is what it is.
I guess this is old and new business regarding the pool. Jeff, as regards to that pipe you mentioned, how much of the parking lot will get tore up with that piping to the pool for the bathhouse?
I can't say for sure what's gonna happen there. The top of Valley Road, there will be a curb essentially put for the water line. And then we have to pay for the construction of water line from the curb box there, or valve box, all the way to the pool. The exact path it's gonna take remains to be seen yet.
Yeah, fair enough.
I can't tell you. It will be an 8-inch water line that goes in, Valley, that's the standard. And it will be a 6-inch water line running into the pool. That line will eventually feed both the pump house and bathhouse.
The pavement evaluation report was September of 2022.
You're on it. That was my next, I found an email that said the same thing. Well, at least it referenced the 2022 pavement conditions,
So can I say I was almost right?
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, feel free to.
It was 4 years.
We
3
did.
years and 2 months.
We did meet about the pool again, you know, the bathhouse, and if we're allowed to call it that, Jason. But pool house, whatever Jason wants to call it. One thing to note, we'll continue to have discussions in regards to the concession stand. Is that fair? I think that was one of the bigger takeaways from Monday night, just kind of understanding what we want to see, how we want to develop that or vote on that. So I think that conversation will continue to happen.
Yeah, I think in general, it's, how do we cut expenses and,
We started looking into the lifeguard thing, we started looking into who can operate it, who can't, all that, and we'll get with you later, it's not something that needs to be decided today, so we were trying to figure out how we can cut expenses, having more employees and utilizing the ones that we have that might be on break, but might be lifeguards, but do they have to have a 15-minute break? So not throwing that on you right now, but just quick Googles, there was a lot of different answers, so, you know, I'm sure it varies by whether it's government,
Yeah, again, not to open up that can of worms right now, but if they do their concession stand shift before their lifeguard shift.
There you go.
That would probably work.
Again, I think that there's a lot of ways to tailor it, and it's the same thing. Sometimes we have, you know, we alternate for. So, again, I think that's probably a big conversation that John needs to be involved with as well. So, I know we talked about that for like an hour and all that, so.
I would, at some point, just at some point, I'd like to bring up, if we continue to call it the Minerva Park Swim Club,
No,
or
That's
if
my first
with
answer.
the new pool, we change the name of it.
yes.
So just
I'm trying to figure out what swim club we have. So I think that's a weird name, yes.
Yeah,
What name do you have in mind, like?
because with that, I think.
I'd rather it be called Minerva Park Pool than Minerva Park Swim
Well,
Club.
that's what I thought it
Or
was.
aquatic center, or
Yeah,
something,
I agree.
just something.
And then also
And then
signage.
updating signage throughout the villages and
Yeah.
that, so.
I
Just
agree.
something to think about.
Yep. Does anybody have anything else? Old business, new business? Oh, I do. Thanks, Barb. The annual Minerva Park Gift Drive is now underway. Each year, the wonderful and generous residents of Minerva Park donate items to be given to the 3 schools in our village. We were asked by the schools not to do gifts for individual children. They would rather receive items that would benefit their entire school community. Donations should not be wrapped. I am not gonna go through this list. It will be on Facebook. We will post it on the website. We'll post it anywhere and everywhere. I will give you a couple ideas though. Hawthorne Elementary School, books, paintings, art supplies, some stuffed animals, maybe some Minecraft Legos. There's way more, but that's just, you get it. Minerva France Elementary, coats, hat, gloves, socks, granola bars, Pop-Tarts, arts and craft type things. Minerva Park Middle School, lip gloss, chapstick, footballs, basketballs, volleyballs, noise canceling headphones, coloring books, journals, makeup bags, crossbody bags, those types of things. Donations may be made between November 17th and December 12th. Items will be delivered to the school during the week of December 15th. Items may be dropped off at the municipal building between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. And any time that there's a special meeting that we're here, there's a couple days left throughout the year that we'll have some meetings that we may be here on other times. So just reach out to Barb and she'll let you know a good time to come in. But November 17th through December 12th, and we will get these items posted so people can refer back to them.
And I like to shout out to this because I know, just knowing the schools that we have in here, there are a lot of people on free and reduced lunch that don't necessarily have the same things. I know because growing up, I was one of those people that went to Hawthorne and was a benefactor to people's kindness. So I think it's a great thing, especially for our village to be able to help out with, so.
Trolley rides, you can sign up for those. I think that opened this past Sunday. I don't know if there's any spots left, but if you wanna sign up for a trolley ride, that's available. And then happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Be safe. Enjoy time with your family and friends. However you wanna celebrate.
Just one last thing on the record. So there have been obviously emails to us, I'll say us, regarding the MLO project.
Yes.
And there will be further discussions, further answers coming forth in regards to mainly the sidewalks or why the sidewalks, everything, trying to figure out what we're gonna do. We know that a number of residents, not a lot, but a number of residents have been affected, and we just wanna make sure that we address that. We just can't address it now.
Yes, we're reaching out tomorrow for grading or retaining walls or whatever exactly that we're doing, so we don't give inaccurate information.
Motion to adjourn?
So, yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Cheers.